Hey, everybody. This is Sherry with Butternut Hollow. Hashtag old lady with tools. Let me get you guys brought up on my phone. You always gotta wait till you go live if you're going live in two spots to bring it up. Otherwise, it won't show you what you want to see. So, how's everybody been? Um, I come up, you guys remember those three snowman blocks that I did over winter? That had the cute little snowman heads and it said Burr Winter and I think Let It Snow. Hey Rita. So I had a customer in my shop the other day and we kind of come up with um a block for Easter, but it won't be like strictly for Easter. It's more like spring. I think it could be spring Easter type deal. So let me turn the camera down and show you what we're going to do today. This will be available in a kit. It's not on my website yet because I'm going to make them here, guys, and I need good pictures. So once I make them, I'll get them on my website. But before I get started, what I want to say is if you are joining me on this live or on a replay, anybody who comments will automatically be entered into a drawing, and I'm going to give away the three blocks that we're making today. Free to you. I'll ship them to you for free. So all you have to do is comment on a live or the replay. I'll keep it up till maybe the end of next week or whatever. I'll keep it up for a little bit. And then after that, you will be entered into the drawing. But if a comment will get you one entry. And if you share it, like you can share it to your own personal page or share it to a group you're in, you think they might enjoy it, that will get you another entry. So there'll be a couple ways that you can take a chance to win them. So let's get started now. These are just those 5.5 by 5.5 blocks that I cut out of pine. I stain my blocks like this, and I usually stain the front, and you'll see why in a minute. I left this one not stained, but where the stain run over, and I'll show you why. It's not a big deal. But first, I'll just show you how I stain. This kit, I think, would be great. I think it'll be fun for adults, and I think kids would really enjoy it. It's really simple. So my stain, and what you'll get in your kit, it's just some brown paint. It won't be in a cup this size, but some brown paint. And this is my favorite go-to for stains, that for stuff that's going to be inside. And as you can see, I just watered it down a little bit. It works great. I'm going to stir in some water to water down that brown paint. Is all I'm doing. And then I'm going to apply it with a brush. You can apply yours with a brush if you have littles or if you want to. But you can also use a wet wipe. That's usually my go-to. But I just wanted to show you how I water down my paint and what kind of a stain it makes. Now, if you have your own favorite stain already in your toolbox, use that. There's not a right or wrong stain to use. Just make sure it's water base. Do not use an oil base because you'll have trouble with the decoupage paper sticking and the glue if you don't let it dry for at least, when I use oil base, I let it dry for at least 3 days, if not longer, because it will mess with how it reacts to the other. And then I take a wet wipe after I've used my brush. Usually I do it with a wet wipe, and I just clean off all the excess. That just aids in the drying of it, is all it does. And the parents can help their littles with this if you need to, but it's not too messy. This is all water-based stuff that we're using. So if they do get it on their hands, let them have fun. It will wash off with soap and water. When I was little, I don't know about you, but the dirtier I got, the more fun I seemed to have. So let them have fun. And I'm going to go ahead and stain the front of this real quick. I just do that to make it a little more uniform when I go to add my paint. But again, let your littles do what they want. There's not a right or wrong reason. And again, this kit would be a great kit for adults too. I think they would have a lot of fun. Well, hey, Tammy, it's actually starting to warm up here a little bit, but I'm just going to tell you, I'm hoping it's not the calm before another big storm because it's only February and I am in Iowa, so that can change at any given moment. But I'm really praying. I'm praying that it's going to warm up. Wishful thinking, I'm sure. We'll just set that aside. Well, hey, Cinder and Glenn. So now here's the 3 blocks we're going to do. And I should also mention that, what's this say? That these blocks will be offered in not a set of 3, but 1. So you don't have to buy all 3. And like I said, I stained the fronts of these. I didn't stain this one, and you'll see why. I just did it so that if your stain gets on the front of your thing, guys, you don't have to get excited. So I'm just going to use white paint. You can use acrylic, chalk. It doesn't matter. And these are the little paints that I fill these, well, they're Apple Bell jars, but actually it's just filled with the paint line that I carry. So then you just let them paint it. I'm painting this white just because I want my spring paper to pop. If you wanted to try it over just the stained area, you could. If I'm going for a grunge rustic look, I do just leave it stained, and sometimes I don't do nothing to it, to the board. So it's totally up to you. And if you don't want if you have little ones that you're afraid aren't going to be able to decoupage, or for whatever reason, just let them paint the board. It will be just as cute, I guarantee you. So I'm just going to put a coat of paint on these 3 boards. And this is what, like, that's the stained one, and you can see, and I stain it because if anything comes through, it looks kind of more uniform, and you'll see what I am talking about. So if I paint this one, I don't think it's going to be a big deal, but I try and point out everything that I do and why I do it. But when you're crafting, my rule is there's not really a right or wrong way. You do what feels good to you. And in your kit, you'll get the brown paint, and you will get some white paint. And then I'll throw in another color in case your littles want to paint. You want them to paint the board instead of decoupaging it. But in your kit, you won't get brushes, but you're going to get some of these sponges. I find that easier for the little bitty ones to use. But this would be a fun project for them. I really think they would really enjoy it, because once we get it all put together, you'll see why. I think it turned out pretty stinking cute. And I had a good friend of mine actually ask me, because she enjoyed my snowman blocks so much, if I could do one with, believe it or not, a bunny butt. And I happen to have a bunny butt file. So these are the bunny butt blocks. And I think it's going to turn out really cute. So let's just get a good coat of white paint on here. And the paper I chose are some of the spring papers. I will tell you, at least one of them that I chose is going to be a discontinued paper. So but your paper will come with your block. But if you like it to use on another project, I do suggest getting your hands on it. But you will get a sheet. You will choose which paper. Hey, Rita, you'll have 3 choices of paper and 3 choices of the saying that we're going to put on each one of these blocks. So you can buy the set of 3, or you can buy just 1. You can buy 2. You can buy as many as you want. I got a goober in my paint there. I got to get off. And so I do want these to be a little better coverage, because my paper is spring-like, and I really do want my paper to pop. So So we're just going to go ahead and second coat these. And yes, I could have had this done before the live, but I really wanted to show you just how easy it is so that you can see how easy it is for kids to do it too, to participate in this fun little kit. And again, you guys that are just joining me, I announced at the beginning that anybody that comments will be automatically entered into a drawing. And if you share it, make sure you comment that you shared it so I know. And I'm going to leave this open for about a week or so. You will automatically be entered into a drawing to win these set of 3 blocks that I am making today. So you'll get the finished blocks, but you'll be able to enjoy them. So comment, let me know you're on, and please share. For every share is an entry, and your comment is an entry. So it's just more ways or more chances to win. I do these lives and then I end up with stuff that I don't know what I'm going to do with it. So I thought, what a great way to hope somebody can use these and to thank my people for watching me. So that's what I came up with. And I'm going to call that good as far as the white goes. And we're going to give these a good dry, and then I'll show you the papers and we can decoupage. I want my white paint good and dry. Excuse me. I hope where people have been experiencing the cold weather like I have here in Iowa, that you guys have are getting to at least see that it's going to warm up a little bit. And I should say my name is Sherry with Butternut Hollow. I am owner operator of Butternut Hollow Crafts here in Oxford Junction, Iowa. I have a brick and mortar here where I sell recycled treasure papers, IOD. I have farmhouse paint, DIY paint, and I do classes in my shop. I have a friend that reminds me all the time that I forget to tell people who I am. Okay, that feels pretty dry. These two do anyway. Okay, I'm going to leave these set here because you can see them in the camera, and I'll show you what I chose. These are the 3. I chose 3 different papers, so you guys have several options. Hi, Teresa. You're not too far from me. Welcome, welcome. So this is a piece. That's another thing. These little blocks are great for your scraps that you save. So this little piece is from, if you guys remember, Carmen's color swatch. I thought that would look really cool on a spring block. This one is the wallpaper one. So that one's just a little more dainty, but I still thought it was kind of springy. And then this is a piece from the spring paper. The spring paper I know is one that's been discontinued. But you will get whatever paper you choose. You will get that with your block. So you guys don't have to worry about that. And so that's what we're going to do, is decoupage these 3 papers on these 3 blocks. Decoupage these on there. So I'll show you how I decoupage. And again, if you have littles that you do not want them to decoupage on, you can just have them paint the block. It'll work just the same. Or let them try decoupage, and you're going to get the medium anyway. You know what? Crumple this paper up and then smooth it out. Crumple it all up, smooth it out, then let them stick that down. Who cares about the wrinkles and the imperfections? Let them make it theirs. I think it would still turn out really cute. So I'm going to take my decoupage medium here. And I just squirt mine in a little cup. Put your paper on your block. It does not have to be perfect. This scrap just happened to barely fit on this block. That's the only reason I am really making sure I get it where it needs to be. I lay down an anchor roll. Making sure that I've applied the medium in on the whole block. If you forget about the edges, they're easy to fix. In the middle, not so much. Then I'm gonna lay my paper down. Balled up piece of plastic wrap. Doesn't have to be the name brand. And I don't know if you guys can see that on camera. Another reason I like using these blocks is because I don't know if I can tilt this right, but you can actually see the wood grain because this is just pine and I didn't do anything to it, but the wood grain kind of shows through. I like that look. I'm not wetting my paper like I normally do because I would not recommend wetting it if you're going to let littles try this because that makes the paper tear easier. And so I would not do that in case the paper would tear and then they're going to feel bad. And I don't want them to think like they did something wrong because they didn't. So we'll set this block aside and let it dry. We'll move on. Make sure I have this where I want it. It doesn't. This flower here, like I said, this is from the spring. It just looks so dainty and spring-like to me for this little bunny Easter, whatever kind of project you want to call it. And that's why we chose this. And when I say we, I'm talking about that friend of mine that was in my shop helping me think through this. Oh, I'm back. Thank you. So what I was saying is I use saran wrap because if you can use your hand, but by using your hand, you would be surprised how much friction and heat. And then there's a better chance that you're also going to rip the paper. The saran wrap stops that from happening. Another thing you can do on the littles, if you don't want them to use saran wrap, you can just take a plastic bag. I have paint in here. Put their hand in it like that, and then they can smooth out the wrinkles that way too. If you have just a sandwich bag, does not have to be anything special. And that way they can rub it and lay it down like they want to, and you do not have to worry about. There's a less risk of it, the paper ripping. Let's say that. So. Okay, this is the last one that we have to put this on. Whoops. Really, Cinder? Facebook won't let you share it? Well, thank you, dear. I don't know. I think I lost internet connection there for a while. It showed on my screen I did. If you guys were on here when that happened, I said, oh, did I lose you? Let me know if I lost connection because my one screen went totally blank here. My Wi-Fi's been acting up and I don't know what its problem is, but it's very frustrating, especially when you're live. I mean, it just went blank again, and now it's back. I don't know what it's doing. I seriously don't know what's happening. I'm giving this a dry because I want to seal this paper. And you will see as the paper dries, if you have any little wrinkles, when the paper dries, they dry out. So that's the good thing. And again, if there's some little wrinkles, who cares? Yes, Rita, I did lose connection, didn't I? Yeah. Rita, can you see me now? Because I'm saying I'm back online. Are you seeing me now? Are you guys seeing me now? Somebody let me know. If not, video and post it too. Yeah, wouldn't you know it? Thank you, Teresa. Yes, Rita. Thank you, guys. That is so frustrating. So you see, I'm checking my edges, which you might have to do. You can just go along there and re-stick them down. And usually if you don't have enough medium somewhere, it is going to be on your edges. So you can just check them out, and it's easy enough to go in there and stick them all down. And then on your paper, you do want to seal it. So I'm going to go ahead using the same medium that I decoupaged with. I'm going to seal my paper. So I usually check my edges and then give it a good seal. This one, excuse me, this one seems to be fine. And I just give it a real quick seal, nothing. These edges seem fine, so let's get this sealed. And this one looks like I might have a few wrinkles in it. Doesn't bother me, just makes it look aged. So now we're gonna go ahead and give these a quick dry. Hey, thank you, Cinder. I don't know why Facebook wouldn't let you share it. I don't know if it's because I'm on StreamYard maybe, and I'm streaming to my business page. I don't know, Cinder, but that's good to know. But I don't know when Royce is live. Well, she uses another platform though. Don't know. Good thing to check into, Cinder. I appreciate it. You let me know. Now this top coat you do want good and dry because you're going to be putting your bunny on that, which it will get a little chance to dry a little longer while we paint the bunny butts. But I just want to make sure it's dry enough to where we can clean it up. Yes, under the copy the link button works the same. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. This, like I said, this will be drying a little bit on itself anyway. And so now I'm going to take a sanding block, and you'll just get a piece of sandpaper that looks like this. It will be this size, but it will be a new one. And that's what you'll get in your kits. And then to clean up your paper, I go in one downward motion. And this block has been well used, but you can see how the paper lets loose. So you can do that around all your edges. This is a little edge. Right. Oh, back again. Hey, I am so sorry, you guys. Oh, I'm back again. I was gonna see if I could figure out why it wants to keep going out on me. I don't know. I apologize, guys. I normally never have had that happen. I think one other time. Okay, so let's get these cleaned up. I think I need a new sanding block. Let me see if I got a better one. That one seems like it's taking forever. Here. I got this new little sanding tool too off of Amazon. I like it's got a little handle and these little pads are like velcroed on there. It's pretty spiffy. It works pretty good too. I'm going to stick this on the edge of the table. If I do that, I can really add some pressure. Seems to work quicker too. So let's get this other one cleaned up real quick. And yes, in this paper, I do have some wrinkles. But again, we are not going to worry about it. Some of them will probably dry out once my paper completely dries. So, but we won't worry about it. You can probably see there's a few little wrinkles right there. I'm not going to let it bother me. Well, hey, Maya, how are you doing, sweetie? Okay, so we're going to do this block first, and I'll show you what we're going to do. See the little bunny butt? Look at that I cut out on my laser. So we're going to paint him up, and then I have your choice of 3 different sayings that we're going to put across here. So let's go ahead and get the bunnies painted up. And I'm going to use my painter's trick. You take the painter's tape, curl it down, and stick it to your table. And I'm going to do that for the little tails, so I don't have to try and hold all them. And I may even do them for the feet. If you can see how I'm sticking these down on this tape, keeping the pairs together. And then we can paint them very quickly. And this trick works great for the little hands too. I like it because, I mean, my hands are already dirty because I was working earlier, but some of the pieces like these might be a little awkward for the little ones to hold in their hands. So we're going to go back to our white paint, and I'm going to paint these bunnies. And these sponges, yes, that finger sander is really nice sander. So when you get these, if you look, there's a perforation right there. If you grab both ends, give it a good yank, then you end up with two sponges. So we're going to get these painted. And I'll show you how you can add a little dimension to your bunnies so that they're not all just white. And it's an easy way for the kids to do it and the adults. We're going to get these painted first. And I'm just dabbing. These sponges work really great for little fingers or old fingers like mine. And then I'm going to go ahead and paint these tails over here white, and then I'm going to add another color to them to make them stand off different from than the bunny themselves. So we're just going to give them a white background. And while this white is drying, which it will not take long, because these bunnies are going to need a second coat, I'm going to go ahead and use a little gray. That's way too much, but that's okay. And it's just like a light gray. And these bunny butts that I just did white over here, or you know what? Let's do this gray on the feet. Let's do that. And the feet, you can see, let me show you. They've got scored pad marks, so to speak. You want to paint them light, but if you happen to cover them up, if the little ones do, it's okay. The way you put it on the bunny, you'll be able to tell it's a foot. So, and if you want to, you could even have them color them in with like some colored markers. Would be cute too. If they can color it, let them do it like a coloring book. Yes, Rita, old fingers, old everything. And then I'm going to take a little, it's called weathered stone, but it's just a brown. And we're going to do a set of feet in brown. And I'm only doing this to offset the feet from the bunny so that they, so that they look a little different. That's all. I think this set of feet we're going to do in gray too. Just going to make sure I got good coverage. We'll go back to the white. There's a goober in my paint. We're going to give this a second coat. Anybody have any questions yet? This is so simple that so there's that. We want to give it just the brown, just another quick coat. I usually 2-coat everything, unless I'm going for a different look. Okay, so now I'm going to pick up this tape and move it back into camera a little better. Let's turn it around. I want the tails right there. So I want to kind of add a little dimension to the tails too. And there's a couple different ways you can do this with you. You can do it or your kids can do it. The first thing is I'm going to take a small piece of saran wrap and, thanks Rita, and just ball it up. You remember years ago that faux technique we used to do on walls where we took the Walmart Saks like and crumpled it up and dipped it in the paint and made a design? That's kind of what we're going to do on these tails. So I'm going to take my little saran wrap, and the first color I'm dipping it in, the first one I'm going to do is this brown, and I'm kind of make the feet and the tails match. You just want to kind of dab it off on your tape, on your table or your plate or whatever, and then just kind of dot your tails. The white is still going to show through, but then the brown has a little dimension. It's not just white. Another thing you can do, this is a natural sea sponge. I keep them on hand. I love the texture it gives. You wet them. So I've got it wet. And I'm going to dip that in the gray. And then you pounce some of that off because you don't really want like full coverage. And then you just dab your tail like that. Again, a little bit of the white's going to show through, but it also gives it, the sea sponge actually gives it some, like raises the paint up, gives it a little more texture. I think that looks kind of cute. Let me set that aside. Oh, I dropped my saran wrap in my paint. I'm going to try and give the brown one just a little more. Let's zhuzh it up a little bit more. I got brown paint on there. There. We are going to call that good. Now you could have left the tail white and done that to the bunny instead, painted him gray. That would have been cute too. Should we try that instead of having them all the same? I say yes. Let's dry one tail up. We're switching gears in midstream here, guys. Oh, we can't. Never mind, because we got the feet. But I will show you what I mean on those feet if I can find a pen here. These are paint pens, but a Sharpie. I think colored pencils, if you let your paint dry, anything like that, I think will would work. Where they could, if you think that they could color them better. I should have got my pen ready beforehand, but we can lay these out anyway. So this is how the bunnies are going to go on the blocks. I can show you that anyway while my pen is, the ink is coming down. And then the brown one, oh, I lost my lid, guys. Hang on here. Let's put the brown one over here. You can kind of see how they will be laid out. And then your sayings to choose from are hippity hop, 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 or do the hop. So, Yeah. So your choices are good. The pink is coming down now, and I'll show you what I mean. Just needs a little more shaking. And you know, you adults could actually like dry brush those bunnies. So here is a pink marker. And the score lines are on there, so all you really have to do is follow the score lines. And it's just like almost like coloring within the lines of a coloring book. It's pretty simple. So you can make their little pads pink. I just want to see what it looks like. These pens dry fairly fast, but you do have to let them dry because otherwise they will smear just like paint because they are a paint pen. But if you had colored pencils, you probably would not have to worry about that so much. So you will not get any paint pens in your kit, but you'll get everything else with some instructions too. There, I kind of like the pad pink. What do you guys think? I think that adds to it. So we would put him right there. I think that looks kind of cute. And if you had different colored, well, hey, Callie, how you doing, sweetie? And if you had different colored paint pens, which I do, you could probably paint the pads of these. You know, you could do one black. I don't know, add some color. They don't have to be pink. Just like all the bunnies do not have to be white. I'm willing to bet there's going to be some little kids that paint their bunnies a wild color, which is great. Thanks, Rita. I think the little pink pads add to it. Now, if you had pink paint at home and had a fine tip brush, you could also paint these in. I do better with these paint pens than I do with a fine brush. I don't know why. Because I actually was not a good colorer when I was a kid, so I'm not sure. But there, I think the little pink pads add to it. I think we got to go pink on these pads, guys. I think we do. So let me finish this pad. I won't make you guys sit through me painting all these. We'll get one of these put together so you can get the gist of it. And then I can finish these up off camera so you don't have to watch me color. But I do want to remind everybody, whether you're joining me live here or on replay, to make sure if you comment or share, a comment will get you in a drawing, a share will get you in a drawing, a second entry in the drawing, and these 3 little blocks that I'm making, I'm going to draw a name. Yes. Oh, yes, indeed. I know your name. Callie. And so it will get you in a drawing, a chance to win these 3 blocks. I will ship them to you, be no cost to you. But I want to get him put together so you guys can see how adorable he is. And I'm using super glue. I haven't decided what I'm going to put in the kits. I might just use some wood glue or something like that. I'm not a fan of putting super glue in kits for kids. Thank you, Callie. Because I know how fast kids can be. And this little tube is going to be cute and probably very appealing to some little ones. And then before you know it, they have it open and their fingers are stuck together. So that's why I usually frown on kits for kids putting the super glue in there. I do put it in the adult kits though. Now, if you just noticed, there is a right and a left paw on these bunnies. I did not know that. I had a feeling there might be, and you can tell by the way that the toes line up on which one goes where. So make sure you get them lined up before you, okay, Callie, before you glue them down or let them glue down. Those will set up just fine. And then I'll show you what the words look like. The words are done on a stencil that I made on my plotter. And again, you will get your choice of paper and your choice of words, because these are sold in one at a time, and then so you will get to choose. Now this is just a white. This is just a white stencil, and you can't see me. Here, let me click the camera up for a minute. This is the stencil. And because we're sticking it onto paper, on decoupage paper, that if you let these set overnight after you decoupage them, not such a big deal. But just to be safe, I take my stencil and I actually stick it to myself. I stick it to myself like this. And then I peel it up. And I do that because it makes it less tacky, but yet, because I don't want this transfer tape to pull up your paper. So that is a good way to be safe, that there will be less chance of that happening. And then I just kind of eye it as far as centering goes. And stick it down. And then if you have a credit card or a squeegee like this, I just make sure that it's stuck down good. And peel up your transfer tape slowly, keeping it like horizontal with your board like this. Don't come up. Keep it flat. You're less likely to pull your letters up. And then just take my finger, or you can take the stencil part and just rub it over it again. Make sure it's stuck down good. By then, everything is stuck down, and that's what these little blocks are going to look like. What do you think? Oh, thank you, Callie. I think these are super cute. I think the kids would like them. Like I said, the one says different papers, but like I said, you choose sayings are do the hop, 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 or hippity hop. And when I get these all three done, I'm going to get good pictures of them. Thank you, Teresa. And then they'll be on my website. I needed good pictures and I didn't want to make a set of 3 and then have to make 3 more because I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I don't have littles at home anymore. But I'm going to finish working on these and finish them up. I'll turn you guys back up here. I'll finish these up. Again, I'm going to write down everybody's name. Thank you, Rita. By the way, guys, Rita's my friend that wanted Buddy Butt. So we come up with this idea, and I think it was an adorable idea. So I'll go back in about a week, and I will look at the comments. And like I said, 1 entry for a comment, another entry for a share, and hopefully somebody will. I'll reach out to you, and I'll do a live drawing. And hopefully you'll enjoy these as much as I did. I think they turned out adorable. I got such a glare in my room. I'm trying to see which way is best. So anyway, that's all I have for you today, guys. It felt good to go live again. I got to do this more often. I really miss it. You guys take care. Enjoy the rest of your day out there. It's beautiful here. I'll finish these up and get a picture out there. Thanks, guys. Take care.